Now on Denver 7 News, toxic chemicals found in the water of a Denver metro city, how leaders are working to keep the water clean.
It's kind of a secret that many people know but aren't talking about. Talking about medical debt, the ways more people are falling into it that you may not realize to ask about, and a big new investment in the Latino business community nationwide. How efforts just like this are working to improve access to money and business education for groups that historically haven't received it.
And 2 Denver police officers now behind bars. Why DPD is arresting 2 of its own for theft. Thank you for joining us. I am Danny New. We start out with a warning tonight for people living in Thornton. The city says that there are elevated levels of PFAS in the water supply. So PFAS are also referred to as forever chemicals and are commonly used in household items like nonstick pans and food wrappers, but also firefighting foam. And last month, the EPA issued a new health advisory lowering the amount of these chemicals that are allowed in drinking water. And now the city says it is working to lower those levels to comply with that advisory.
These health advisories aren't from like drinking a liter of water. They're over a lifetime, a 70-year lifetime span if you're exposed to levels above the health advisory. Part of CDPHE's message, though, with that is that utilities like us should be actively working to lower those levels in our drinking water, and that's what we're doing right now.
Frisco sent out a similar warning earlier this month, and more cities will likely do the same in the future. Well, the man at the center of the police shooting in downtown Denver, where police injured 6 bystanders, appeared in court today. Our cameras were not allowed inside to see Jordan Wadi, but we know a Denver judge decided to grant him bond, setting it for $10,000. Wadi was on parole at the time of the shooting on July 17th and is facing weapons and assault charges related to that incident. Police claim he flashed a gun at them as bars were letting out, which is when 3 officers opened fire, injuring Wadi and 6 bystanders. Denver's district attorney is also in the process of investigating the 3 officers who fired at Wadi. Our Nicole Brady actually sat down with DA Beth McCann, who says that she cannot talk about a pending investigation, but she did give insight on the importance of the officer's body camera video.
The body camera is typically very, very helpful. Sometimes not at all, because they wear it on their chest, and if they have their guns out, sometimes you can't see anything. But in some cases, the body camera is very, very helpful because you can see lots of things. Often, though, it's dark, it's jumbled, there's a lot going on.
Now, McCann has been Denver's top prosecutor for more than 5 years, and during that time she actually hasn't charged any officers in a shooting. However, she has charged them with assault or other nonviolent crimes. And when investigations into officer shootings are wrapped up, she usually holds public meetings to explain her findings. And one of those meetings is happening tonight at 5. She'll be talking about the investigation to the shooting death of Colton Wagner last summer. McCann said that the officers followed their training and that the shooting was justified. And Denver police have arrested 2 of their own officers for theft. In a statement, DPD says that Michael and Santana Pineda, who are father and son, are accused of billing their second job for hours that they did not work. Investigators reviewed surveillance video at that job and compared it to their timesheets. They say Michael had 23 shift discrepancies worth about $5,000, and Santana had 18 discrepancies worth about $3,700. Both officers will remain on unpaid leave until their criminal cases are over. A federal judge temporarily blocked new gun laws from going into effect in Superior. A group called Rocky Mountain Gun Owners sued the town over the ordinances, and Superior passed bans on assault weapons, large capacity magazines, and ghost guns. The executive director of RMGO says a recent Supreme Court decision could mean it is, quote, open season on local gun laws.
The Bruin decision gave us a 4-ton wrecking ball to dismantle any and all unconstitutional gun laws here in the state of Colorado. This could actually lift the statewide mag ban that was instituted in 2013. But not only that, it could block any type of assault weapons ban or classification ban, meaning accessories.
The judge did not block Superior's law that bans open carry, but the next hearing on the other bans will happen next Thursday.
Changes could be coming to better protect veterans and service members being recruited by for-profit colleges. Regulations the Education Department released today would close the so-called 90-10 loophole, which it says has incentivized for-profit colleges. These schools can get no more than 90% of their revenue from federal student aid under federal law, but schools have targeted veterans using GI benefits because the law does not consider funds from the Department of Defense or VA as federal student aid. The pause on federal student loan payments is supposed to end in a little more than a month. But a trade group for the companies that service those loans says the federal government has told servicers not to contact borrowers about resuming payments. White House leaders say the president hasn't made a decision yet about whether to extend the payment pause. It is currently set to end August 31st. Consumer confidence about the economy is down for the third straight month. New numbers out today show that most people believe their present situation is above average, but people's expectations for the future have declined since January and are at their lowest point in almost a decade. Analysts worry about the impact going forward.
If people really expect inflation to get worse, it tends to get worse because they start anticipating it and adjusting their plans accordingly.
Now, today's report shows that people have pulled back on plans to buy cars, homes, or major appliances over the next 6 months. Analysts say much of that money will go to rising food and gas prices. Walmart, Target, and Best Buy all cut their outlook for this year. Walmart says that it's cutting prices on clothes and big ticket products to get rid of a huge buildup of inventory.
What is occurring right now is that we're seeing the bursting of asset price bubbles. We're seeing the bursting of the stock price bubble, and that's bound to affect sentiment as to whether people buy houses, whether people go out and consume. People will become a lot more conservative in the spending habits.
The Federal Reserve is doing what it can to tackle inflation. It is likely to raise interest rates tomorrow. The move will make it more difficult to borrow money and may cause shoppers to cut their spending even further. The reduced demand could make companies rethink price hikes in the near future. Now, it can be easier to fall victim to medical debt than you may realize.
I have no credit card debt. I pay all my bills on time. This isn't fair. That one mistake has put me in bankruptcy for the next 10 years of my life.
The questions to be asking the next time you get an expensive procedure.
And still to come, a unique hiking tour of Colorado. We're taking a look at some of the local trails that feature pieces of the past.